Hi, my name is Ken Medellin, and I'm studying to be a deacon in the Archdiocese of San Antonio. I'm here today to talk to you about the Council of Jerusalem. Approximately 15 years after the ascension of Jesus, around AD 49, the apostles were busy spreading the good news across the land, when an important question came up regarding bringing the Gentiles into the faith. The Acts of the Apostles in chapter 15 narrates, certain people came down from Judea to Antioch and were teaching the believers, unless you are circumcised according to the custom taught by Moses, you cannot be saved. To put it clearly, do Gentiles need circumcision to be Christian? This position brought Paul and Barnabas into sharp dispute and debate with them. To resolve this difficult issue, the early church convened in Jerusalem, setting the framework for deciding how to move forward to the many issues and situations which will engulf the people of God to this day. Luke the evangelist tells us, Paul and Barnabas came to Jerusalem and were welcomed by the apostles and elders, to whom they reported everything God had done through them. Immediately, Luke writes, then some of the believers who belonged to the party of the Pharisees stood up and said, the Gentiles must be circumcised and required to keep the law of Moses. With this, the debate was on, with the apostles and elders meeting to consider this question. The scriptures tell us that it was the apostles and elders who met, and from that we can surmise that the church in Jerusalem had adopted a hierarchical structure, with Peter the Rock as the head, who was on the road heading up missionary work, James the elder as the apostle who stayed behind, overseeing the Jerusalem church, and other apostles such as John the Beloved. Elders might have included names such as Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea. Then there were the Christian Pharisees who disputed with Paul and Barnabas, along with the deacons appointed there to serve the widows. It is also speculated that this gathering of the early church took place in the upper room, which was a space large enough to accommodate this body of apostles and elders. Luke continues, after much discussion, Peter got up and addressed them, and pointed out that he himself had witnessed the Holy Spirit fall upon uncircumcised Gentiles, and granted them the same gifts which were given to the apostles and to the Virgin Mary on Pentecost. By this witness he declared, why do you try to test God by putting on the necks of Gentiles a yoke that neither we nor our ancestors have been able to bear? Concluding this debate, James the Elder spoke and quoted the Levitical rules for resident aliens from chapter 17 and declared, it is my judgment, therefore, that we should not make it difficult for the Gentiles who are turning to God. Instead, we should write to them, telling them to abstain from food polluted by idols, from sexual immorality, from the meat of strangled animals, and from blood. With the matter settled, the council wrote a letter which described the decision and sent emissaries who went down to Antioch, where they gathered the church and delivered the letter. The people read it and were glad for its encouraging message. With this decision, the church veered away from becoming a sect of Judaism and opened the gates which allowed Christianity to flood the Greek East, the Latin West, and the coast of Africa. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit.